The spirited vitality of these machines belies the fact that they are on their way to extinction. A last attempt to save them as an economically viable form of motive power for South Africa was made in the early 80s, when a host of special refinements was added to the basic design. The prototype, affectionately known as the Red Devil, was bred for power, speed, and fuel efficiency. In short, for performance. In fact, so eager to perform was she, that she tripped over her own feet in doing so. With so much extra power, she rather lost her grip on the rails. She wasn't at her best slipping and sliding out of a station, but once let loose on the open road, she was a stunning performer. But despite her power and despite her speed, she remained an anachronism. In the annals of steam history, she is now nothing more than a tantalizing symbol of what might have been. For a steam lover, driving a locomotive is akin to playing a temperamental musical instrument.
On a steam locomotive, it doesn't quite help just pouring tons and tons of coal into the firebox. And making tons of black smoke, that just won't help. You've got to know exactly how much to put in and how little, and where to put it, and be able to read your fire and things like that, and to keep the steam at the red mark if you can. Well, people think of the mechanical stoker just rolling the coal into the fire and the train goes, but it's not quite like that. You've got all different jets, and you've got to control it so it gives an even fire on your grates. White and bright, as they say.
Richard Niven has been happily getting his hands dirty as a fireman since he was 23. Along with fellow Britisher John Gilberthorpe, who is his regular driver, Richard drinks in the atmosphere of the steam age. He lives for the smoke and the throb of the engine's exhaust, knowing that he helped to put it there. Riding the tracks through a pristine African dawn is high up on his list of fringe benefits. After hours of bucking and swaying, there is yet more work to do, preparing the engine for the return trip. Steam engines are like babies. Their appetite for attention is constant and voracious, and they respond to it noisily. In their personalities, power and helplessness exist endearingly side by side.
I've always loved steam engines right from being a small kid, and I always wanted to work on them, but I didn't have the opportunity in Britain. And so I thought, well, I'll come to South Africa and have a go on them. It's the last place in the world where I could really get a job on them.
These men are perhaps the most satisfied enthusiasts of all. They've had much more than just the vicarious pleasure of photographs. They have actually inhabited the world that so vividly fires the imagination of others.
The power and the appearance, the sound, the whole aura about them, I think. Everything that goes with them. It just sort of breeds atmosphere. It never fails to appeal to me. I'm always leaning out of the engine, listening to how she's performing. You can see the clouds of smoke and steam rolling behind. It looks terrific. It sounds terrific as well.
To the crew, a steam locomotive is not a passive machine. It sighs, breathes, and responds like a living being.
It is almost human. It eats, it drinks. The quality of the fuel that you put into it, you get the same sort of power out of it, the same as with a person. And if you look after it, it'll look after you. And you ill-treat it and she'll do the same to you too.